Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me back with more Transformers. This is Studio Series 86 Steeljaw. This is a core class figure. I got this via Hasbro Pulse for $9.99 here in the US. You guys can see, very tiny figure. I'm going to open this up and give you guys a look. So moving on here with Steeljaw out of the packaging, you do get your instructions. Additionally, you get a couple of accessories, or at least just one accessory here. You get this horn or tweeter from a speaker. This is meant to represent one of the things that was used by Blaster in one of the G1 episodes. I think it was called Auto Bop. It's one that had tracks, and had Blaster also fighting Soundwave. So he used two of these attached into his hands, and I think that was one of the keys to defeating Shockwave there. But this is really well done. It's done on hard plastic, orange plastic. It's painted gold, and it's got some pretty cool detailing. Of course, you only get one, so if you want to emulate what was in that one G1 episode, you are going to need two of these, but Steeljaw only comes with one. I'll move that out of the way. You do get a couple other parts here. This particular part here is meant to go in his alt mode, and its only purpose, as far as I can tell, per the instructions, are to hold this little horn tweeter speaker thing in place, right? You've got a little slot here that's meant to tab into here, and then that kind of holds the speaker in place, and then this little section here, this tab, goes attached to Steeljaw's back when he's in his alt mode to hold the speaker in place. So that is a thing you could do in this orange plastic with the gold accents. I think it's done really well. But as you guys could see, he is a parts former, I guess, if you're interested in that. You do have to attach this after the fact, because the cassette mode here is essentially this. It's not, it's not terrible. Again, there's little things that I wish I would have done better. Like, for example, they managed to paint this in the dark gray to simulate the cassette, the one side, but they didn't do it here. They have the sculpting done, but they didn't go through with painting in gray. I think that would have went a long way towards finishing out this side. The other side, they have the two gray accents here, but then they have nothing here pretty much. So it kind of looks a bit unfinished. Now, normally these things, you kind of put them in cassette mode and they kind of go inside of Blaster. So in this case, I did take out Kingdom Blaster here. I'm going to fix the camera just to show you guys the fitment. Obviously, just like the other cassette modes, he is able to go into Blaster here, but the fit is a little tighter than expected. So essentially, I usually take it with the gray here, sort of it's going to be facing forward. So you're going to take Blaster here, and you're going to essentially start from the bottom. And once you get that in there, you kind of push that in, and then you should be able to close it. It does fit in a bit more snug than Rewind and Eject. So, but you can fit them in there, and as you guys can see, it could close, and you can open that with the button mechanism. I'm assuming one of the reasons why they only painted one side is because when you put this into Kingdom or Blaster in general here, you only really see this one side, which is the finished one. But again, it's a bit unfortunate. Wish while you were in this mode here that they would have gone through the trouble of painting both sides. So, but this is all you get. This is pretty similar in size to the other Rewind, Eject, and Ravage, and Rumble and Frenzy. So here is Eject. This is the one that came with Kingdom Blaster. So it's the one with the little clear plastic, and relatively size-wise, I would say the Steeljaw is slightly, it's almost like a millimeter bigger, maybe 2 at most, and that's if. So maybe that contributes to a bit of the tighter fit, but he can fit inside a Blaster. Again, a bit of a shame that some of the details were not painted entirely, but that's pretty much all you get here. So now the more interesting aspect of this guy is obviously the alt mode. So to start that off, we are going to take these two sides here, which are essentially his head, and you're gonna swing them out. Swing this out here, and then fold these two sides together. They're on a hinge as such, and you'll see the head kind of comes together at that point. And then you're gonna bend this up so it sits like that. Then you're going to take the legs, the back legs with the golden guns here, and you're gonna fold them down. Same thing here, take this, fold it down, and then the front legs kind of just go fold it down as well. And then you could take the guns and you could angle them forward. I like to personally angle them slightly up, bit of an angle there, and there you have your alt mode. Now obviously this looks incomplete because, again, as I said, the whole tail section here is a whole separate piece. You guys can see they didn't integrate this into the cassette mode, so it is a bit of an extra piece. So we're gonna go ahead and first put on this first accessory, which is essentially just goes tabbed into the back here, and then you can take the speaker here and tab it into place. So that is a thing that you could do with this mode here if you wanted to. Personally, I'm not too crazy about the way this looks. As I said, I'm used to this being sort of attached to Blaster's hands, but is a thing you could do. So now we're gonna go ahead and put on the actual tail wing section here, which actually makes it look a lot better and a heck of a lot more complete looking. So that definitely, I think, brings it up a notch for me. I do definitely like the way this whole upper section looks with the Autobot symbol and the head. I think that's definitely very cartoon-like. Love the wings here and the tail. Of course, a bit of a shame that this is essentially a whole separate piece and it's not integrated into the cassette mode. And then down here, you know, pretty much you see the bottom of the cassette. The legs look okay. Really wish they would have been maybe they should have had an additional point of articulation here on the bottom sections of each foot, just to give him a bit more size. As is, he doesn't look terrible. Again, this is the way I look at this is an accessory for Blaster. He is $9.99, $10, but you know, so it's okay. It's just okay in my book. To show you guys here the very minimal articulation in this guy, you do have the legs that kind of just move back and forth here, and that's really about it as far as the legs. Wish they would have added some additional joints here on the upper part of the legs and the lower. The head itself can't really move much. I mean, part of the transformation involves you folding this down, but for now the head's kind of just stuck there. I think the expression is done really well. The back legs here, same thing as the front, right? You can only really move them back and forth, and that's about it. The guns are sort of attached to the legs, but you can also rotate them if you want to, different directions. So that's a thing you could do. And the wings back here and this whole separate piece with the tail, the wings kind of just move up and down. That is the extent of it. They're not on any kind of ball joint or anything, so you can't really separate them. The tail is kind of static, it's in place, so that won't really move. So yeah, articulation wise, you know, don't be looking for some crazy articulation on this little guy here. To show you guys how this whole piece goes attached to Blaster here, of course this is Kingdom Blaster, but the Studio Series 86 Blaster was pretty much the exact same figure. But if you look at the back here of this accessory, there is a matching way that this goes into his fist, but you'll see the little bump here. That's essentially meant to essentially match up here with this fist. So you're just gonna slide that in, and boom, it fits in place, and it actually looks pretty cool. Him holding there, you know, getting ready to fight Soundwave. You can also attach this to the pointy hand, as I like to call it. Again, it has the exact same slot to match this in, and it fits in place really well. So again, I think it's cool that they gave us this accessory for Blaster. I just wish they would have included two of them, right? Just to have both hands like they did it in the cartoon. And you guys could see here's Steeljaw and Kingdom Blaster sort of standing together, and I do think they look pretty cool. Overall, you know what? For $9.99, it's pretty cool that we get Steeljaw here. Again, as I said, I hope we get at least ram horn, but I do hope that we get better accessories and perhaps a better integrated alt mode if we ever do get ram horn. In this case, this guy, you know, you get this little extra chunk to attach the speaker there, and honestly, I'll probably just end up throwing this in my accessory box. And it's cool that we also did get the speaker here that Blaster is now holding, but I wish we would have gotten two of them. I wish I could have done something similar here with Steeljaw, right? I think I would have preferred if maybe they didn't give us any accessories and gave us maybe more articulated legs to give them a bit more heft and size. And then also there's the fact that obviously this whole back section with the tail and the wings is a whole separate piece, right? And it's not something that's included in the transformation in the mode. There's not integrated pretty well, at least I don't think it is. I think as far as comparisons, obviously you guys see them there next to the Bumblebee movie Studio Series Ravage. But here's another Ravage. This is the Masterpiece Ravage that came with Soundwave, Masterpiece Soundwave. I know this is a whole different price point. The only, you know, way you can get this now is, I guess, used, but just want to show you guys there the difference. Another Ravage here that we have on hand is this is the Ravage that came with the Studio Series, sorry, with the Netflix Soundwave there, so you guys could see them. I guess very similar in size, but I do think that Ravage was done just a tad better than Steeljaw here. And there you go. So we'll move these two out of the way, and then of course gotta have eject and rewind here. Right, this is who these guys are going to be paired up with Steeljaw, and this is the Studio Series 86 eject that came without Blaster. Then there's rewind. So again, that I think looks pretty cool. I think again this is why I think of this whole thing as an accessory. Yeah, they could have done it better for $9.99, but it's not too bad. Not too bad of a figure. So we'll move them out of the way, and then we'll put in Rumble. So this is the Studio Series 86 Rumble and Frenzy, or at least as I know them, Rumble and Frenzy. There you see the size difference there, right? Pretty cool. Get these two guys out, and then two other smaller figures that I had here is the Studio Series Wheelie and the I think this is Daniel and his exosuit. So overall, I think that's it for me, guys. You know what? For $9.99, as I said before, I'm okay as looking at this as an accessory here for Blaster. While I do think it's nice that they've thrown in this say bonus for us who like G1. I really wish they would have added more articulation on the legs for this guy, and maybe added some additional paint apps to the cassette mode. Or if not that, you know, they could have forgone the other attachment here for his back that attaches the speaker to Steeljaw, and rather they included another one of these horn speaker things for Blaster to use in both hands, right? So that's a bit unfortunate. It's not necessarily a bad figure by any means. Obviously, me having Blaster and Rewind and Eject, I definitely had to have Steeljaw here. So it's nice to finally have it in the collection. It's not a terrible figure by any means. Again, as I said, only $9.99, but they could have definitely done this a little better. But yeah, so that's it. There you go, guys. That's Steeljaw there. If I missed anything, you have any questions, you know, feel free to leave a comment. Otherwise, thank you so much if you made it to the end of the video. I will catch you in the next one. Take care.